It like you open it up and then the mummy's red eyes go. Wow.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to what might very well be the most important video I've ever been involved with Dinger City or any of its subsidiaries. Welcome to the in-depth look and review of Scooby-Doo Ghoul School.
This movie scared the bejesus out of me.
It was so methodically frightening that, like, you know those movies where they do cheap things, they jump scare you. This movie had you on the edge of your seat the whole time, that you don't even know if you can trust what you're seeing, right? Like, you think that a perfectly normal human man is gonna hit a wall and maybe be bruised, scratched up, but instead he's flattened like a pancake.
Multiple times.
Multiple times.
Yeah, I really did appreciate this movie because a lot of Scooby-Doo, you reveal the mask. It's the classic suspects.
Real
you all
estate
know
mogul.
Real estate mogul. For all we know, these monsters are real. They don't reveal themselves at any point in the movie. And it's not just the ghouls at the ghoul school. It's the bog monster, the spider lady, all the adults. They're all essentially just who they are in their hypothetical roles if they're real.
Yeah, it's actually it's incredible the lack of mystery in this Scooby-Doo film. And I think that if I'm remembering correctly is just how it is in the Shaggy, Scooby, Scrappy-Doo films, which also include Boo Brothers and Reluctant Werewolf for I think those are the only other two, the two really big ones, if anything.
Speaking of those three, it is true we do not have Freddy, Daphne, Velma, or the fourth one who I'm forgetting. Just kidding.
The Mystery Machine?
I forgot the dog counts. We don't have Freddy, Daphne, or Velma in this movie, and that changes the dynamic a bit. It's no longer really a mystery. It's much more of an action adventure.
Exactly. It's a very beautifully crafted, very simple and easy to digest 2-act structure film.
Mm-hmm.
First act, your classic underdog sports team story. Shaggy arrives at the ghoul school. He has been hired to be their new gym teacher before the film started. He arrives, finds out that it's a school of monster girls. After interacting with each one once, accepts that fact.
This is clearly a post Scooby-Doo Adventures Shaggy. He's no longer deathly afraid of everything he sees. He's willing to interface. And
that tidbit of human evolution is showcased in his wardrobe. We're used to seeing Shaggy in a lime green shirt that really signifies like an ectoplasmic fear and, like, you know, a weaker color, you know, it's like it's a fading color. Now, in a bold red, I'm taking nothing from nobody. I'm bold. My shirt is bold. Also, Scrappy-Doo is here.
Scrappy-Doo is here, and let me tell you, he gets into some hijinks throughout this movie. There's the classic scene. He sets up a catapult with a tree. One of the instances we see Shaggy and Scooby get splatted.
Of course, that's all Scrappy-Doo. Scrappy-Doo has a relentless optimism and courage to him, where no matter what he's faced with, whether it be a ghoul, a school, a spider witch who I cannot believe I don't remember her name.
It's hang on, I know it. Revolta.
Revolta! It's Revolta, you're right, you got it. Nothing scares him. Not Revolta, not the Grim Creeper, none of it. He's always like, let me at him, or I'm gonna use my brain. And we know that he is absolutely shredded. They give you this information really early in the film.
Oh, yeah.
He does a bench press with like at least 90 pounds on both sides. He is then pushed out the back of Shaggy's tricked out van, grasps the bottom with his legs, and fully using like his abs and legs brings it back in.
He's not even like, come save me. He's like, I bet this is great for my leg strength.
Puppy power! So, yeah, that's what you get from the first half of this film. You get 3 absolutely courageous, shredded gentlemen leading this underdog team into battle against the military school next door, which I want to talk about for a little bit.
Just chock full of laughs too, by the way. I think that it had a few jokes that made me laugh out loud, like the one about the more moves than a Russian chess player.
Absolutely incredible. You don't get references like that in today's comedies. You get like, oh, did you see him puke on that girl? But you get nuanced Russian chess player jokes, and you get very clever wordplay, all of which I would say was absolutely fantastic.
You do get a lot of clever wordplay. I believe my fantastic count sits at greater or equal to 6.
I think it's greater. I think we definitely missed at least a few of her saying fantastic.
There was a lot of bat puns. There was bat bath. There was bad, like bad time.
Yeah.
Bat time, sorry.
Classic. It was a lot of really good, nuanced puns. Well, I guess before we talk about the military school, we should talk about the ghoul school, right? We should talk about our titular students that attend the ghoul school. We've got Tanis, the daughter of the mummy. Winnie, the daughter of the werewolf. Elsa Frankentine, the daughter of Frankentine, which is just the name of Frankenstein's monster that they changed just so Frankentine would be funny. You got Sabella, the daughter of Dracula, and finally you got Phantasma, the daughter of just like a specter.
Yeah, that's her phantom father, I believe is how she put
it.
She
said, I can't wait for you to meet my phantom father. So that's our cast of characters. I would go into what all their like quirks are, but they're all kind of just like, I'm gonna use puns based on my monster heritage, and we're all relentlessly optimistic. It's just kind of what they all are.
I really love their relentless optimism because they play off Shaggy so well. It's like they're all so happy to have a new gym teacher, no matter, Shaggy seems like an averagely decent gym teacher, better than I would expect him to be for sure, but all he does, he has them jogging. He knows ballet.
Yeah, he fully teaches them ballet. He knows it. Scrappy and Scooby seem to have some understanding of it. The teacher they already have at the ghoul school also seemed to have an understanding of it. So, like, clearly it was something they already knew and was able to evolve upon using their gym teacher. So he's a good fit for their gym teacher, which is important because the night he shows up, he has approximately 16 hours to whip these girls into shape for the upcoming volleyball game against the military school next door, which I want to talk about. We've got an incredible cast of characters over there. None of them worthy of remembering their names, and they all are the exact same character. They will all say something about either observing or reporting, or something militaristic will be said by one of the 5, and then 2 of the other 5 will always respond with affirmative and then on the double. Let's do a little example right now.
I was thinking that.
So I'll start and then you hit it.
Of course.
Ready? Corporal, I was looking over the hedge and I think that the ghouls are ready and training well for our hard-hitting battle of volleyball tomorrow.
Affirmative.
On the double. That was every single.
Well, then the colonel, you better get to work, boys.
Yeah, then the colonel comes over and he's like, I don't see you practicing volleyball. You cannot lose. We are on I think they said I don't know if they give the exact year, but like many, many years in a row of beating the ghoul school at their annual volleyball game, which the corporal says I have to go now plan. And he walks over to the ghoul school, says, "How's 2 o'clock sound?" And then it's on. like
synchronize your watches.
Everyone's got a watch. They're all synchronized.
More on that later.
And then we get into the meat and potatoes. He trains them, a little bit of montage. They swim, they dance, they do a little aerobic exercise. They do
jogging.
They don't jog. They jog later. Oh, they jog around the school.
They do,
and then they jog. They do the bog jog.
They jog
later.
in the fog bog jog.
But they do deep shrieking. Is that what it was called?
I believe it was nice shrieking, Scoob.
They buckle them up, and the game is underway. This is about. It might even be a little earlier in the halfway point of the film. It might be like 30 minutes in. Very heated battle. The ghouls use their ghoul powers to get a little bit of upper hand, but the military is firing back. What are some of the ways that they even the playing field, so to say? You might even say cheating. What are some of the things they do?
Well, first they bring the score to 11-10 using solid fundamentals, but
that's true. Even ball game it's versus 21, I should mention. So they get about halfway there, both sides looking really good. Nothing being done yet.
But once they start whipping out the volleyball with the tape on it, the bat spike, the electricity serve, they need some extra talent. So they put a remote control. I believe the boy hide a remote control device mid-game in the volleyball, and then they make the volleyball go whoop. It's an easy win, right?
It's an absolutely it's a guaranteed win, honestly. The ghoul girls could not compete with this. But the military academy was not expecting Scooby-Doo to be on the sidelines with a foot-long hot dog.
Yeah. A real hot dog, by the way, the only instance of real food in the movie.
Exactly. Everything else that Scooby and Shaggy eat is either, the ones I remember specifically, they have a pizza with spider webs and eyeballs on it or something. And then later they eat, like, fungus brownies, and they're just, like, cool with it at that point.
Yeah, they're like, I expect this. They get a little itchy.
Yeah, they're just like, whatever, this is the food we have to eat. And so Scooby goes to put ketchup on his dog, accidentally squirts it in the eyes of a military boy. He hits the ball towards Scooby, and of course Scooby-Doo, accidentally going to bite his hot dog, eats the entire volleyball. He eats the remote. He eats the remote. So the remote control volleyball is now no longer in the benefit of the military, and every time Scooby-Doo hiccups, the ball hits the corporal in the butt or something.
That's right.
So we're back to being in favor of the ghouls. They bring it up to about 20 to 18. The military tries to whip out a jetpack. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
And thanks to the fierce leadership of Shaggy, the ghouls win. The first time in years.
It's a magnificent win. They give the trophy to the little mummy girl so she could put it in her mummy case.
Right in her mummy case. She hopes and impresses her mummy, who doesn't show up or nor is mentioned for the rest of the film. Only her father shows up. But I think this is really important for the film because the deep connection between Shaggy and these girl ghouls, it's something they showcase early on. Almost, I bring back up that relentless optimism that the girls have. They really want Shaggy to bring them to this gold medal early, and it's Sabella, I believe, spends her last Transylvanian dollar to buy Shaggy a pizza the day she meets him. So this is a really, like, emotional bond between the ghouls and Shaggy. So the victory resonates with me as a viewer.
Yeah, same. Buying Shaggy food, I know it means a lot to Shaggy, and as, I've been a kid once, we've all been a kid. The last of your allowance is important and precious to you. Presumably, at a boarding school, you're not getting much.
Of course. I mean, like, where are you you're at a boarding school. Clearly not in Transylvania. You wouldn't have specified the origin of your dollar.
Right. Are Transylvania dollars real?
They're enough to cover a whole pizza.
All right.
So she's out of money, and that's how much she cares. So this relationship now gets taken to the next level because the open house is also the night of the big volleyball game planned that morning, and we're now introduced to the fathers of all the ghouls. Your Frankenstein's monster. I'm sorry. Frankenteen, Dracula, the werewolf, the mummy, who's a man, the father of the mummy, and the Phantom Father, and they're all like they're very respectful and thankful of Shaggy's influence on their daughters.
Right, a little bit threatening. They value their daughters a lot, so they kind of put the threat on Shaggy. If anything happens to any of these girls, I'm gonna hit you with my mummy beam.
Exactly. Yeah, the mummy actually, like, his eyes glow as though like lasers are gonna
his
shoot out of
eyes
it.
glow, and he's like,
and every father echoes that sentiment. They say, "Hey, we had a fun time with this party at this open house. Our daughter's really happy with you as their gym teacher. Just know, though, anything happens in the stint of you being their gym teacher, you're gonna have hell to pay."
I think this is a great time to note, by the way, Shaggy is the only teacher at the school besides presumably the other lady.
Miss Grimwood.
Grimwald.
I think it's Grimwood. Grimwood feels
and I
right.
believe the only two confirmed classes are gym and arts and crafts.
That's true. In the entire first day of Shaggy's employment, the only class the girls attend is gym. Now, you might be able to argue that point of the big game was that day, so all they would need to do is gym. And it's clear they've had arts and crafts before, because at the open house, every ghoul girl presents their father with something they made during arts and craft,
Amazing.
which has a wild range of talent.
Right.
The three that I remember for sure are Sabella makes her father a robe that would fit a bat.
In addition to making a robe for matches.
Yes, she also makes
the little dinosaur.
The little house mascot dinosaur dog that has a very lovely relationship with Scooby-Doo. It's like a love-hate relationship. But I've saved the best for last. It's truly incredible.
Yeah.
Elsa Frankenteen creates what is essentially an iPod. In this movie came out in I think 79. She makes was essentially
it's a Walkman.
She makes a Walkman, but there's no CD or cassette deck, I think. And it can be powered by electricity just shooting in from the sky, which is something that happens with Elsa and her father a lot. They love being shot by lightning because they're Frankenstein monsters.
Yeah. Frankenteen monsters?
So yeah, in arts and crafts, they're making iPods, robes, flashlights. It's really, it seems like whoever's teaching it knows what they're doing.
Right.
However, this is where our Act 2 plot is introduced.
The Venus spy traps.
The Venus spy traps show us that, what was her name? You had it.
Disgusting. Revolta.
Revolta. The damage show that the Grim Creeper has set up the spy traps so that Revolta can be spying on the Ghoul School with the grand scheme of brainwashing the Ghoul Girls into being her evil minions so that she would be the most powerful evil monster in the world with a little legion of girl bosses. It's what she said. She didn't use the word girl boss.
She did not use the word girl boss.
It's implied.
Go, my minions. Gatekeep Shaggy and his dog.
Unfortunate timing for Shaggy because he's just been threatened by 5 classic monsters. That if anything happens to his daughter, that there'll be hell to pay. And she sends her spider bats to hypnotize Shaggy into taking the girls on a bog jog the next day.
Right. It makes you wonder, a little bit of a plot hole, why not just send the spiders to hypnotize every student while they're asleep?
Well, you see, it's not a plot hole at all. They can't drive.
But isn't the main goal just to hypnotize the students?
Yeah, but they can't drive to the bog that contains the rocket shed.
Right.
How would they get there?
That's right.
They need the driver.
Okay.
So, because Shaggy has worked at this school for, I think at this point, 36 hours, he gets to take the girls on a field trip, all these, like elementary age, middle school age, age girls into his van, and they just drive into a bog with no supervision for a bog jog. He's the gym teacher. So, again, another day of just gym being the class.
Right.
After the big volleyball game, but I guess you could also argue a field trip takes precedent over a normal class.
I suppose so.
So it's hard to really know how Ghoul School operates with its class schedule, but we're going to work under the impression that there are all the classes offered, and maybe each class is each day. And this takes precedent on this field trip.
I'll buy it.
So they get there. They go for their bog jog, and the Grim Creeper has laid traps to lure all of the ghouls one by one into this very out of place.
It's like a Minecraft house.
like a random ass wooden shed. It's just a wooden shed in the middle of nowhere. Clean as like AF. Looks like it was just put there yesterday. Doesn't match the rest of the bog at all. And one by one, the ghouls are lured in here. Simultaneously, the military brats are taking a field trip to the bog to do some, like, military stuff.
Yeah, just a popular field trip spot out in Transylvania, I guess.
No, not Transylvania.
They're not
anywhere else.
Anywhere but Transylvania. Oh, because then they would have just said dollar.
Exactly. That's
You're
what
right.
I was saying earlier.
Okay, yeah. Literally everywhere besides Transylvania, the bog is where you want to go.
It's important to note that Matches was told he was not allowed to go on the field trip, but he snuck out of the Ghoul School to attend the field trip anyway, because he'll be one of our heroes. The girls are kidnapped. They're all lured into this this shed, which is revealed to be a rocket shed powered by brooms, and the shed lifts off out of the bog and flies to Revolta's castle. So Shaggy, Scrappy, Scooby, and Matches are now left with having to save them, not because Shaggy has become attached to these girls, but out of pure fear of what the fathers will do to him if not.
Like Count Dracula's gonna hold me accountable.
That's exactly what he says. So they get the Revolta's house via Scrappy-Doo ingenuity. He makes a slingshot that slings them all the way from the bog to the castle. They sneak around. A bunch of things that aren't crucial to the plot take place during this important, but they're during this scene, but they're fun. Shaggy gets accidentally sucked into the mirror realm, and then Demon Shaggy
That's right.
takes his place. Except Matches just lights him on fire, and he's like, "It's too dangerous out here." So the mirror demon just decides to go back and put normal Shaggy back in. But the big event that happens is that when they are all captured and they're put in the well.
Yes, with the
Well Dweller.
Dweller.
The Well Dweller. This is this is where I'll cue Nick up. Nick, show him the Well Dweller. This
I think he knows to show him the Well Dweller.
he knows to show him the Well Dweller. This absolute behemoth of a monster is the one thing stopping Shaggy, Scrappy, Matches, and Scooby-Doo from saving the girls. Faced with certain death, what do our gym teachers do to stop him?
Racquetball.
They play handball. They use their gym teacher knowledge, which clearly Shaggy has accumulated in between this film and the series. And it's really Scrappy that does it. Scrappy plays handball with the Well Dweller, and he throws such a perfect hit that the Well Dweller goes to bite it, and his tail makes a perfect staircase out. And as Shaggy puts it, they take the Dwellevator up to the top for the final confrontation with Revolta.
And then they just like fall on her, and it's all good.
I know what you're thinking. We've talked so much detail. Like I said, this is more of an in-depth look than a review of what happens. But they do kind of just fall on her. Are looking at like a trap door and they can't get it to open. And Shaggy, I think, just shoulder checks it, and then they all fall in. It's a big slide.
I'm pretty sure Scooby uses his tail as a key.
But they're going down this big slide while Revolta's got all the ghoul girls like hooked up to this device where they're going to get the potion at midnight and it's going to turn them into evil forever. And they just cream down the slide, accidentally unplug all the girls, and they're saved. But there is one final hurdle of they capture Shaggy, and she says, "Hey girls, I'm gonna kill Shaggy if you don't get in there and turn evil forever and be my slaves forever." To which all of the girls agree they will do to save their gym teacher that they've known for 48 hours.
Just incredible.
Underlining the beautiful relationship that's formed between Shaggy and these girls over the course of the film. But unfortunately, Revolta was not prepared for Scooby-Doo to be just chased around by the Grim Creeper, and he accidentally just knocks a bunch of junk into the cauldron.
Makes the Hell's Kitchen noise.
Yeah, they just knock a bunch of junk into the cauldron. They get like a wrong potion. They're all good again, and the whole freaking castle explodes. And the only reason that Shaggy and the girls aren't caught up on it is
The boys. Reluctantly, they decide saving these girls' lives is more important than hating them for beating them in volleyball. So they take their bicycle-powered helicopter, bring in the ladder.
And now this was something interesting because they were alluding to the boys having this kind of like dynamic character shift from like scumbags to like friends the whole time. And I mentioned to you, I was afraid that it was going to come off a little like, oh, these girls who are literally monsters with superpowers still need these boys to come help them. But it's actually, I think, really well balanced that not only do the girls not really need them outside of like an escape? They solve the problem themselves and they save Shaggy.
Yeah.
So the girls really, it's honestly, I think it might be the first girl boss movie.
The first?
Well, name one before it.
When did this movie come out?
I'm gonna fact check right now. I'm calling 79. Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. It was so much later. 88.
88?
10 years later.
When did the first Wonder Woman come out?
The movie?
Yeah.
Probably before then.
All right, I'll take that as a girl boss moment.
Okay.
How about Legally Blonde?
Definitely later than 88.
How about Mean Girls?
Definitely later than 88. You're going real early 2000s right now.
It's when I was born.
Fair, but I want to give them a round of applause for in the late 80s doing 5 girl bosses in one movie.
Yeah.
And Revolta's kind of a girl boss. An evil girl boss, but a girl boss nonetheless.
More like Gross Boss.
Oh!
Oh, sorry. Like, this girl boss is more of a gross boss.
So they fly back to the ghoul school. Thankfully, that night there's another party where all the fathers show up. They find out their daughters are still safe, even though it's only been one day. And the movie ends in a way that I could not recall, nor could not have asked for a better one. Scrappy Rappy Doo lays down some sick bars that I'm just going to have Crit Nick put here for you.
So with the cadets, it was a snap to escape Revolta's trap. Now let's get loose and dance.
It's a little bit sexually charged, that scene.
Yeah, there were a few moments where they were like, these girls are talking to these boys, and who knows what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
and
the
the
teachers
teachers
are
of both of the
getting
school are
together.
getting together.
And Phantasma's taking 2 boys at once with a fling.
That is, they do really just say, and Phantasma's taking like 2 dudes.
I don't know if they say taking 2 dudes. That's not what they say.
You know what I mean?
They say the word fling.
like it's funny.
It's funny.
It's a lot. It's the 80s. But and then our movie concludes with Miss Grimwood telling Shaggy, "You've been such a good gym teacher over the last 48 hours that we've enrolled like 3 or 4 new students, and the only one I remember is like Godzilla's daughter." And he just goes, "Like Zoink Scoob, I'm out of here!" And they hop into the van and they drive off into the sunset. And Shaggy goes, "Let's give them a real ghoul school Grimwood goodbye." And instead of Scooby-Doo going, "Scooby-Dooby-Doo," like he does at the end of every single movie, he just kind of has a stroke and goes, "Ra-roo-ba-doo-ba-boo-ba-boo."
All right, what do you say we give this video a real Grimwood Ghoul School goodbye?
Well,
It's not time for that yet?
I think I'm on board to give it a Grimwood goodbye. But I gotta give Crit Nick his bit, because
Okay.
Crit Nick did bring something to our attention
Oh, right.
after the movie was
That's
over.
right.
That a relic of time, forgotten to the past, I think Ghoul School is. But apparently, modern animators are using its brilliance in both animation, storytelling, and character development in their own work.
I think clear influence in The Godfather, clearly influenced by Ghoul School.
I'm pretty sure The Godfather came out before Ghoul School. But that's not
Girl
what
Boss
I'm
movie.
I think every Girl Boss movie after 88, obviously.
Obviously.
But I'm specifically referring to the cartoon known as OKKO, which has a full episode where a main character of the show, Enid, is revealed to have attended the Ghoul School, and it's a 20-minute little love letter to Ghoul School and everything that happened in it. They mention Shaggy, they mention Scooby-Doo, all the girls get to say their catchphrases. They get to show their more developed personalities and how they've changed over time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think just like having a creator and animator acknowledge Ghoul School in this way, it shows that, like, me and you are not the only people out here who love Ghoul School. And I'm not gonna outwardly name the person that wrote that mean comment about Ghoul School being bad, but it shows that person's in the minority and really stupid and a dumb idiot.
Dumbass, yeah.
Dumbass, yeah.
Right.
So I'm comfortable saying that Ghoul School is an easy 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
I don't give those away often. Even Spider-Man No Way Home, maybe even a 9.5. And I gotta tell you, man, there weren't like other universe Scooby-Doos coming through portals. That's what Cyber Chase is all about. I save that for Cyber Chase.
Cyber Chase is pretty hyped too.
Oh, if you guys want us to review Cyber Chase or any other Scooby-Doo movie, you let us know. This is a fun little one-off video that me and Andrew wanted to do. But we're happy to review anything else Scooby-Doo related. We're going to be doing a new Scooby-Doo series or stream series on the channel very shortly, possibly even before this comes out. I'm not exactly sure when this is being released. But Scooby-Doo is a big thing me and Andrew love, and we'd love to bring you more of it. Or if there's any other movie you want to see me or Andrew review, if it's not Scooby-Doo, it's probably going to be me and like someone else. But Andrew's a smart boy, and I'm happy to show him anything. But now, I think it's time we give them a real Grimwood goodbye.
Yeah, all right.
Robert Rubio!